Are we live or are we Memorex?
I think we're Memorex.
Me too. What's up, everybody? What going on?
Hello?
I'm waiting for the drugs to kick in. So once
Did
the drugs
you take your Midol?
when the drugs kick in, we'll be good.
Did you get your Midol?
Did you ever? I love that movie. I'm due for a rewatch of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's about the time the drugs kicked in. they fucking huff ether and walk around that casino and be like, what the fuck? Huffing ether. I mean, that is that's another level, dude. And there's really nothing there's no real equivalent to that. Because It's not like heroin. It's not like cocaine. It's not like pot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like kind of its own thing.
Ether?
Did you ever huff ether?
I have not.
You used to be in the medical profession.
I never.
You never went there and said, just to huff it, just to give it a couple sniffs.
No, sir. I just say no to ether.
I just say when to drugs and alcohol.
All right.
You okay now?
Yeah, I don't see us on Facebook.
Oh, God.
Oh, Lordy.
I hate when we're not on Facebook.
Lordy, I just want to communicate with the people.
Want to rock and just want to be on Facebook all day.
I'm sure we're here.
Facebook.
Yeah, see, we're on the tube, you. All right, shh.
Turn that shit off. Turn that garbage off.
There's one person watching on YouTube. Wonder who it is.
All right, everybody, we're getting ready to get the party started. Lily is on vacation. We'll tell you about that in a minute.
Yeah.
We have our intro music. Let's get levels.
There we
Let's
go.
get Chuck Lavelles.
There we go. Now
We have to. Oh, this isn't going to work. God,
what's going on? What's
hell's
going on?
God.
What's going on? Oh, Lordy Jesus.
I have an issue here. First, we got to do this.
I got to get comfortable. I'm not used to this big, comfy chair.
Record media.
Yes.
We have to change our preferences in Reaper.
Oh.
I use Reaper to record. Reaper. That'd be great. I'm sure there's a metal band called Reaper. There has to be. So, okay, it's going to work now. Now it's going to work. There's always one thing. You know, every time I do this, I've only been doing this for 10 years.
Yeah. Make sure I look okay.
Are your boobs okay,
Yeah,
Kevin?
make sure, Something about this chair just makes you want to go like this.
Mr. Pittsburgh.
Fix things.
It's Mr. Pittsburgh.
Hey, everybody, and Mr. Pittsburgh's in the house.
Oh, goodness. So, all right. So we're going to we're going to get into this in a few minutes here. These bands that maybe should kind of maybe think about maybe.
What do you mean?
Yeah, just maybe think about it.
She said her name was Maybe.
Maybe. That's from what's their names? Damn Yankees.
Those damn Yankees.
All right, so if you are watching, please.
I know.
Right. Okay. No Lily. Yeah, we get it.
Yeah,
all right.
There's no Lily.
Okay. There's no
Don't
Lily.
remind us.
This is going to be the boys' club tonight.
All testosterone all the time, motherfuckers.
So let's.
Surprise, motherfuckers.
Lily is on vacation. We'll talk about that.
Must
in a
be
minute.
nice.
Well, it gets exhausting being Lily.
With us? Yeah.
Well, not only that, she has to carry the giant kajungas around on her chest all day.
Oh, I hadn't noticed.
That has to
I
really
hadn't
wipe you.
noticed those.
You hadn't noticed?
I hadn't noticed those.
Talk into the microphone.
Okay.
How long have you been on the podcast now? Exactly. Into the microphone. Yeah, you fucker.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
This is set up
She's
for
still
slow.
flashing Motley Crue. You can set that anywhere you like.
I am.
Yeah, we'll move all kind of places.
Wow. Ooh, goes up and
Yeah,
down.
it goes up and down, just like
Left and right.
That's what she said.
Hey, everybody.
Okay, and
Oh,
so we have good levels on that. Make sure the music isn't going to kick on and blow our brains out.
yeah, we don't want that.
Okay. How's everybody ready to make a little bit of podcast magic? Make show business magic? You guys ready to make a little show business magic? Let's do it.
Yes.
Let's do it. My brother up a little loud.
Just a little bit there. But not too much. I don't want to scare anybody with my booming, powerful voice. There you go. That's
there
good.
we are,
That's
booming
good.
and bamming.
I wanna
Pebbles
make sure.
and bam bam.
Yo, yo, yo.
Shake
I
and
don't know
bake.
why.
All right, here we go. Okay, you guys ready? Here we go. In 5, 4, 3. Let's face it. We all want our favorite rock stars to live and tour forever. It's like if they're still out there, then we're still young and all is right with the world, right? Unfortunately, no one escapes the hands of time. Even our favorite rock stars reach a point where their performances aren't quite as energetic, I'm being nice, and as in your face as they were maybe just even a few years ago. So on this week's Loudini Rock and Roll Circus podcast, we're going to debate 10 or so artists who might want to consider retiring. You're listening to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, changing rock history one podcast at a time. Moms and dads, boys and girls, and children of all ages, races, creeds, pronouns, genders. What else are there?
Religions.
Species.
Do you think we have like chimpanzees listening?
We probably do.
That's awesome.
We probably do.
Word to the monkeys.
Word to the monkey. Oh, I know what I watched. I watched Ted.
Oh, with
That's fucking great.
Yeah, okay.
I got to watch the sequel again. I've seen him before. Yeah.
All right.
And that is the whole time he's talking, I'm going like, that's Peter Griffin. And there's even a joke in the movie where he goes, all right, I don't sound that much like Peter Griffin. I mean, it's got Seth MacFarlane all over it. I mean, Mila Kunis is, she's Meg. She's Meg.
I'd like to make a meal out of her, Kunis.
Is that her name?
Yes. Yeah, she plays Meg.
She plays Meg on Family Guy. And Patrick Stewart, who does the introduction to the ender, he's a recurring character on American Dad. So
it's like a whole universe with those guys.
Yeah. It's really neat. It's really neat.
Very cool.
Neat. You know, he was a huge Star Trek fan, and he wanted them to let him do a Star Trek series. But they were like disagreeing because, like, Star Trek, I don't know if you guys watched, and we're gonna, since Lily's not here,
yeah, nerds.
Like, Star Trek now isn't Star Trek. I mean, it's like dark and edgy, and they're swearing and when I heard them swear on whatever what's that called, the Star Trek Discovery or whatever, I was like, at first I laughed, and then I thought,
whoa,
this really isn't
it's
Star
not the
Trek.
same spirit or
it's the people were supposed to like be holding themselves to a higher standard and stuff like that in the future, and I think lost it. But Orville, I'm saying that to say that Orville, which is the Seth MacFarlane, is more Star Trek-y. Is more Star Trek-y, So even though it doesn't have even though it's not in the Star Trek world, but anyway, so I digress as usual. It would not be a Loudini Rock and Roll Circus podcast if there was not some digestion. I did. I ate like right before I came down, so I'm just starting to get my juice back.
There you go.
You know how when you eat, you get like a little bit of like it's got to settle,
Yes, sir. Yes,
so,
I know.
Anyways, I want to tell you guys about Wolf's Customs. Go to wolfscustoms.online, and they're all over social media. Do amazing artwork on musical instruments. Check them out. You want to get that thing done. Chris is a great dude, a very talented man. So check him out, Chris_Wolf wolfscustoms.online, or just find them on social media. Instagram, I believe, is your best bet because that's the one. That Instagram's the one with mostly photos.
Right. So you can see.
He uploads a lot of stuff to Instagram. Also, rockrageradio.com. Download the free app. We are Rock Rage Radio Show. We are on every Sunday at noon. Just as you're coming out of church, you can put us on in the car on the way home. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. So, that's it. Lily is on vacation.
Yes, Lily's
and I'm here with Mr. Pittsburgh. It's just me and Mr. Pittsburgh, Loudini and Mr. Pittsburgh.
Hell yeah.
So, I was saying that I watched Ted.
Right.
And I rewatched. I was a little under the weather this weekend, so I laid around a bit. Rewatched An Officer and a Gentleman.
Oh.
I hadn't seen that. That's got some talent in it. I mean, Deborah Wanger. Kim Basinger. No, Deborah Wanger and Richard Greer.
Greer.
Rosie Greer.
Rosie Greer.
Rosie Greer. Up your rear with Rosie Greer.
See how this goes.
But no. Richard Gere is in it. Louis Gossett Jr.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
David Keith.
David Keith is in it. Now,
Yes.
every time I hear David Keith, wasn't David Keith the old guy from Family Affair?
No, that was
Keith David.
Keith. I think it was.
Keith David is the black dude who's in the Thing. He does the voice of the Army or the Marines.
Brian Keith.
Huh?
Brian Keith was. No, who's the guy in
Keith David's the black dude from the Thing. I know
Okay,
that.
all right.
Brian Keith is the guy from Family Affair.
Family Affair?
And which Keith are we talking about now?
Keith Richards.
David Keith.
Oh yeah, him too.
It's got to be his kid.
Oh, they kind of look
That
alike.
kind of like it could be his kid. Absolutely, it could
If
be
only
his
there
kid.
was some way I could look up.
Some days they
information.
will invent a thing where you can just look
I know,
stuff
right?
up and get information
I'm
at your
so
fingertips.
excited. I can't wait.
They might even put it on a cell phone or something. You never know.
Wow, you never can tell.
That's. Speaking of, you never can tell. Bones Magoo's in the house.
Yes, he is.
Bones is very sad because Lily's not here.
He is. He loved her long time. He do. Bones loves her, man.
But
He's over there polishing his trumpet. looking
I
at
was
her.
thinking about, because Officer and a Gentleman is directed by Taylor Hackford, who is the guy who directed.
Yes.
Speaking of rock stars who needed to retire,
Uh-huh.
Hail Rock and Roll.
Oh my God, yeah.
And poor Chuck, right? There was some videos that surfaced like right before he passed away,
Yeah.
and he was like
God bless him.
wandering around and stage
God bless
lost,
him.
and
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
yeah, I want to. I'm gonna put it in the show notes. A link to his YouTube channel, Michael Nolan. He kind of inspired me to do this podcast. He's been kind of ranting on his YouTube channel for a while about some of these rock stars. Michael is. I don't know what he does, but he's knowledgeable as fuck about music. So if you actually want to hear real content and not a bunch of horsing around like we do, yeah, check out his YouTube channel, Michael Nolan. I will put the link in the show notes. So, but yeah, Chuck.
I think that's part of our charm.
Yeah,
Is the horsing around.
yeah. Well, that's our shtick.
I think is that our shtick?
That's our shtick. That's
We
what
kind
we
of-
do instead
wow.
of. I mean, like you look at what's his name, the Professor of Rock. You ever watch his channel? Like he's super knowledgeable. Like
Right.
he
But it's-
interviewed. Like he gets freaking like famous people on to like interview and stuff like that. And I'm like, like that's great, but nobody
You know
cares
what he
about.
doesn't have? He doesn't have Lily.
Now he doesn't have Mr. Pittsburgh, and he doesn't have Loudini. Our way of handling these things is to kind of talk very loosely about the topic.
It's like you're hanging out with us.
Yeah, we're just hanging out talking about it. We're not necessarily going to bestow like massive amounts of knowledge, although we do like to pride ourselves on occasionally, like when we did the one on Triumph, like telling the story about Rick Emmett meeting Bon Scott. Like
Right.
I try
That
to
was-
find
that was
some
cool. Some
fun,
little story that
some
maybe
stuff,
you're not
and
aware of.
and we and like tell it in our own way.
Yeah.
So anyway, so those other channels and stuff like that do things in a more serious way. We try to keep it
Not
as
us.
this like the idea of the podcast was Kevin and I were sitting around,
Yeah.
partying and listening to music and like talking about music and like cracking each other up.
this.
And we're like,
Just
we
like
should
that.
record this.
Yeah, exactly. Remember that? How many years ago was that?
That was
15 years ago.
That
or
was
something?
before there was even podcasts, because we were talking about like putting up a camcorder.
Yeah.
It wasn't a cam.
Yeah.
What was the thing? What was the technology in the early video recording technology in the early 2000s? There was a small
GoPro.
Yeah,
Like
like
before GoPro
like
even,
you know
but-
what I mean, like in the
yeah.
very first, those little like the discs they would record right to a flash drive or some flash recorders.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Oh yeah, remember those?
Yeah. So anyways, so that was the impetus for it. So
Here we are.
I've tried to keep that with every co-host that I've had. You know, going back to Pittsburgh Kevin Keith, of course, Lily, Katie Simone was my. Was in here for a while, so she was awesome. We had a good time. But even with that, like we just tried to keep it, have fun
Light
with it.
and airy.
Yeah, light and fun. If you're watching, give a shout out and say your goddamn name, because this thing doesn't show me the names.
I got it here.
You
Lou.
got-
Hey Lou, you know me, right? I'm
Yes,
on top
Lily
of
is
it.
still flashing Motley Crue.
And Lily, that's Lily right there that says, "Oh, you're wearing my shirt."
No, Lily, you're supposed to be on vacation, not watching a fucking podcast.
She misses us. She misses us almost as much as we miss her.
Who washed your balls? I mean,
What?
I don't know who washed your balls, but who's the one that says that they washed their balls for this? Is that Michael Goltz? Tom Blodgett.
Hamburger cheeseburger. Wow.
Oh my goodness. All right, Sherry Doran. Hi, Sherry. Do we know Sherry?
We
Is
do
somebody
now.
you know? Oh, Sherry, how you doing? Okay, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it. So let's just start with.
Hey, wait.
Yes. What?
I was thinking about this the other day. I don't know if you remember this. Remember that time I was dating a twin? Remember that? I remember what you asked me? You were so funny. You're like, well, how do you tell them apart? Remember what I said to you? I said, well, Lisa paints her nails purple. And Bob has a dick. Remember that? Remember that? That was fun.
You know,
I've been waiting all day to tell you that. Remember that?
That joke is like now, like since the second it starts on TikTok, I can't get away from it fast enough.
Yeah.
I've heard it 8 million fucking times.
8,000,001. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bob has a dick.
Bob has a dick. Bob is a dick.
Well, I didn't want to say anything.
Bob's dick. Hi, we're Bob's dick.
Ooh, new band name. Write it down.
Bob's dick. Okay, so anyways, Lily's on vacation, and we're going to get into. So we were talking about like there's a good example, you know, and he was able to go a long time. I mean, I think it worked too for the style of music he was playing, and those people that he was appealing to were kind of like kind of his. I mean, young folks like Chuck Berry. I mean, love Chuck Berry
Sure,
too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yes.
But then even with him, it got to a point where you know they did that movie Hail Hail Rock and Roll, and Chuck was his 60th birthday.
It was his 60th, yeah.
And he was kicking ass. It was rocking hard, you know. But then he got like another 20 years or so, and then it
Right.
got
Started to slow
started
down.
started to catch up with him.
Yeah.
You know. And then you know, rest in peace. But so even the great, you know, king of rock and roll, Chuck Berry himself, at some point had to,
Right?
you know,
Yep.
Elvis didn't give us that luxury.
No.
Neither did Kurt Cobain.
No, sir.
Neither did Jimi Hendrix. Neither did
Right.
Janis Joplin or Jim
right.
Morrison.
Yes.
Or Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yes.
Did you hear this nonsense?
Tell me, what?
When John Mayer turned 27, he was like really afraid. You know, I was like, dude, like, you know, I've gone to bat for John on a lot of occasions because like he gets a lot of shit because like he's probably got more ass than a toilet seat.
Wow.
But then he came around and said, but he doesn't like to do with black girls, and then I got him in more trouble. You know what I mean?
Jesus.
And you know, I've always like, but you know, when you say shit like, you know, come on, dude, come on, you know, the 27 Club. Anyway, so who are we going to start with here? Let's go ahead and get into today's topic because there are just certain guys that just can't.
Let me, folks at home watching. Lily comes in here very prepared, has her nice, typed out things. Yeah, look. This is what I got. Ripped out notebook paper.
This is rock and roll.
Yeah, this is rock and roll right here. So, sorry about that. I'll pick that stuff up later. Anyway.
So did you want to start with the band? And I'm going to I have some kind of topics I want to work in around this. I think that's how we're going to do it. So.
Okay, all right. So do you want me to
jump in with whoever you got? It doesn't matter.
Well, I'm going to start with this guy because we've talked about him before, and that would be Bob Dylan.
Bobby Dylan.
I want to be Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan, Robert Allen Zimmerman, was born May 24th, 1941. Let me explain this. That's World War II, bro. That's how old he is. He's 81 years old. I'm sorry,
God
81
bless
years
him.
young.
God
Still out
bless
there.
him.
His first album was in 1962. That's before even I was born, Lou. Crazy talk. Still out there. He started doing the he started doing the Never Ending Tour June 7th, 1988. 1988.
It's still not.
And
It hasn't ended.
Still going on.
Well, he says never ending.
Yeah, it really is never ending. But you know, we were talking about it earlier, where like his performances are very unpredictable. But you reminded me they've always been unpredictable. Like,
Well,
he'll
when
have to change the lyrics.
When the Heartbreakers backed him up,
yeah.
they said they never worked from a set list.
Right.
He would just start something and they would play along. Well, sometimes he would count something off.
Right.
Sometimes he might turn around and say, "We're going to play Tangled Up in Blue," but
Yeah.
like it was just like a total hold on, here we go.
Exactly. Exactly.
But they all talked about how that really sharpened them up as musicians.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were all
When you
like,
have
man,
to jump right in and get
you
it
know,
right. Yeah.
They had to find a way to make it sound good. I'm sure it wasn't perfect. I did not see that tour, but I'm sure that it wasn't perfect.
Yes.
But it's still pretty fucking sweet. And that was Dylan kind of when he was like, still kind of was more with it and stuff like that, you know. But I mean, he won
was a
Grammy
youngster,
Awards
yeah.
not long ago, didn't he? For like best blues
I think
album?
so,
Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it was long. Maybe it was 10 years ago. I don't know. But
Maybe he just told people that.
he told me that. He called me up last night.
Some awards, yeah. So, all right.
Well, here's the thing with Bob Dylan, and I understand where you're coming from.
Yes.
I'm just going to say what he says about it because he's
Okay.
been asked this.
Right.
You know, why doesn't... Because he doesn't need to tour.
Right.
In fact, he just sold
His catalog.
his catalog
right?
for,
Yeah.
what, a couple $1 billion or
Sure,
something
why
like
not?
that? You know, so, like, he's set. I mean, he's 80... How old is he?
81.
He's 81.
Yeah.
So, that'd be like my dad passed away. He was 81. Okay, when I hear somebody's touring when they're 81, I think, this is my... Could imagine
Like
my
your dad up there on stage.
On tour. Not just on stage, but on tour.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a
Yeah.
whole other level, man. It is so freaking, like, brutal. But Dylan has famously said on more than one occasion that he cannot quit, that he made a promise to the Lord of this world and the next that he has to play for the rest of his life.
Wow.
He seems... Now, Dylan... He's been a mysterious character. Like, nobody really knows Bob Dylan, really.
Nope.
Not really. I mean, so, like, when he says shit like that, like, and he's said it a few times, like, it really kind of goes like, it makes it, like, adds to his
Yeah.
mystique.
I'm like,
You know what I mean? And he's serious as a heart attack.
Yeah.
When he says it, you know what I mean?
you-
And he went through that religious conversion
Remember
in the
that?
80s and
Yep.
everything, you
Yep.
know? So really kind of like, it's a kind of like, is he just messing with our
wait,
heads?
is he married? Because that would explain a lot. I gotta go on tour.
Well, they
You
said
stay home.
Abraham Lincoln, there's people say that Abraham Lincoln never became president if it wasn't because him trying to get away from his wife. get away from, because
Sorry, Mary Todd. Truth hurts.
But yeah, so I don't know. So we'd have to Google that to see if he was
Interesting.
if he is wed. We probably could look that up. I was going to talk about Queen, but let's take a real quick look, Bob, because Wiki will have it.
Let's look at Bob Dylan.
Just take a quick- I am curious if he has joined the bond of holy macaroni.
Spouses.
I see spouses.
Yeah. Go. Oh, here we go. Look at
Spouses.
this. Oh, he's so good. He had many wives. So it looks
He's
like
not married
divorced.
now.
He's not.
Yeah, he's not married.
Maybe that's why he's on the road.
Carolyn Dennis was his last
Trying to
wife, and
find
Sarah
some
Dillon.
Little
How
chickie
funny!
Dylan.
Then Sarah Dillon, they had the same name, Dillon.
Well, it made it a lot easier. She didn't have to change the monograms on her luggage. So she figured, this will work out good.
Oh my god. Anyways, so yeah, I think it's a good pick, and I think that you could definitely make an argument for that. Also, though, like think about Bob Dylan. Like, what does Bob Dylan really have to do? Probably has a killer band. I think it's Charlie Sexton is like
Oh,
his,
really?
is his like music director.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty hot band. I mean,
Wow.
like if they came and I was able to go, I would go because I'd be really interested to hear the band. I mean, Bob Dylan. I went through a period of my life, man, where Bob Dylan was my absolute hero. I thought he was the absolute greatest songwriter ever. I still think he's absolutely amazing. And I would have loved to have seen him at that time, but now like he's much lower on my priorities in terms of having to see live.
Right.
You know,
Right.
the band. What I have on my list is I've got Queen. Look,
Okay,
Queen's
all right.
over.
Yes.
It was fucking
Right.
when the day Freddie fucking Mercury fucking died. Queen was it.
Yeah.
Okay, that was cute. Paul Rogers. Okay, you guys went out and
Okay,
did like a
kinda like a little tribute.
like a little tribute.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, but then they get this maniac, this Lambert in there.
Jack Lambert?
They got Jack Lambert.
Wow.
See, like nobody. We shouldn't make those jokes because unless you're from Pittsburgh,
You
you're not
have
going to
no
get that
idea
joke.
who Jack Lambert is.
Jack Lambert. Anyways, no, it's not Queen. I mean,
No.
it's an abomination.
Yeah.
I mean, like Freddie Mercury, man, He was a fucking man. He was all man, even though he was gay, man. He was all fucking man.
He
like
had
he
command
had
of
total
whatever he
command of
was
that
doing.
audience.
Yep.
And they get this little twerp on there. Yes, Adam Lambert has a good voice. He can technically sing the material. That's fine. That's fine. But it's a come on, it's a travesty.
Yeah.
It's a sham of a travesty of a sham.
It's a travesty of a sham?
Of a sham of a travesty.
Wow. That's, yeah, I concur, Captain. I was, when they brought him on board, I'm like, no. Now it's almost like a tribute band. You know, just happens to have the members, the
Yeah,
band
well, they
members,
only got
but-
2 members. It's only Brian May and Roger Taylor. John Deacon won't do it.
Yeah, see, he was,
You know, I mean, like,
all
he's
smart.
not even in the fucking, you know, it's like, it's not even 3 of them.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it was one thing when they did the Paul Rogers thing, but this is just like, this is inexcusable.
They will have none more of this.
999! What? I forgot. I need to say this
What happened?
because we had to talk about this week with my team.
Uh-huh.
Look,
Yeah.
trigger warning.
Oh.
We have to start putting this at the beginning.
Oh,
So, like, if you're easily triggered, if you're offended, if you're the kind of person who's offended by the humor of Dave Chappelle and Bill Burr and people like that,
or 8th graders like ourselves.
or if you have some butthead that offends you, like it's just not the place for you. We love you, but go listen to something else.
Right.
Okay. This isn't your dad's
Disclaimer.
rock podcast.
Right.
This is, you know, we're
right.
like, you know, this is what we do. But yeah, fucking Queen. Like, guys, come on. You know, anyways, because you don't know, British rock band formed in 1970, London. Freddie Mercury on lead vocals, Brian May guitar, Roger Taylor drums and vocals, John Deacon on bass. Earliest works were influenced by progressive rock, hard rock, and metal. Band gradually ventured into more conventional radio-friendly works by incorporating further styles such as arena rock and pop rock. They played disco and funk. I mean, it seems like no matter kind of what they stuck their fingers into, they were a good soundtrack band.
I was sticking my fingers
You
into
were thinking
things.
of it, right, Kevin? I mean, like,
Yeah.
we were talking before the podcast. Like, I rewatched Ted. I was saying I rewatched Ted.
Right.
And they, you know, they're all into the movie Flash, and that's music plays, you know.
Yes.
And I mean, that's a kick-ass soundtrack. It's like fucking kick-ass, and it's and then their work on There Can Be Only One, Highlander. Who Wants to Live Forever, which is a beautiful song and used very poignantly in the movie. But just an amazing, iconic band. You don't go out after you do all that music with like, and this guy was not, Freddie Mercury wasn't only one of the greatest rock singers. We did a podcast on the greatest frontmen, and if he wasn't at the top of everybody's list, he was pretty close.
Yes.
So no, guys, there's really time to stop. You're just doing it for the money. I know why they're doing it. They're doing it. They're doing it for the money. Here's what it is. You see these bands never like do any serious recording.
Right.
They go in the studio
Just,
for a week and maybe pump out some garbage. But like bands like Led Zeppelin and Queen and a lot of different bands in the heyday, they'd go to like a ranch or a cabin.
Right.
Or,
Be
a campground.
forever.
Yeah, and they would just work and work and work. And then when they were kind of done doing that, then they might go do take a break, and then they might hook up again in a month in another country and work and work and work and work. I mean, Exile on Main Street was made like that.
Perfect
You know what I mean?
example.
A lot of records are made like that. Right. Tom Scholz made the whole Boston album in his basement. I get that. But that's sometimes I'm taking a very long time to release new music. Okay, I'm sorry, but sometimes it takes a long fucking time. These kids today, they've got all this pressure on them to content. And I think that like these bands, there's no way to make money on records anymore. This is what I was getting to. So the way they got to do it is they've got to tour and fuck making any serious music.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a couple that we're going to talk about a guy who actually has made really good records in the 21st century, who's a classic artist. who has not taken that approach, but is having some other problems. But these guys now, I mean, like most of these bands on that we're going to be talking about are just like, they're just, it was no different than like when we were kids. Mm-hmm. And
I remember that.
Frankie Valli. And
Right,
like, you
right.
know what I mean? Like, and who else? The Supremes and like, all these people like, and
Temptations.
They would all go out. They're all different members now, and they would go out and just play their hits, I mean, that's essentially what happened in Pittsburgh. What was it, 2 weeks ago with Def Leppard and Motley Crue and all? That's essentially what it was. It was an oldies show.
Yeah.
I mean, none of those bands are putting out any relevant music because they don't fucking work on it. They got to get back out on the road. So anyway, yeah. Bohemian Queen.
Sorry,
you guys are fucking up. You're ruining something great. You're pissing all over something wonderful. So what do you got?
All right, so we talked about this before the podcast. What song is it you want to hear? That's right, the band Leonard Skinner.
Freeburb.
Yeah, Leonard Skinner.
Freiburg,
Yes.
Freiburg.
That's not Freiburg. Yes, that's right.
Freiburg.
Yeah.
Freiburg from Futurama.
You kids today and your cartoons. So, Leonard Skinner was formed in 1964 as My Backyard. Changed the name in
Get out of my backyard! Yeah, that's
Get
right.
off my
Yeah, you
lawn.
punks, get off my lawn.
Changed it to Leonard Skinner in 1969. Of course, everybody knows they named it after, what was it, their gym teacher that they all hated? It
was always on their case.
Yeah. First album came out in 1973. Of course, we all know October 20th, 1977, a day that would live in exactly pop. The day the plane crashed. They reformed 1987. 2018. Rewind. They rewind and reformed. 2018, they announced their farewell tour. Yes. Their next show is in Virginia, August 26th, 2022.
So it's still on that farewell
They're
tour.
still apparently on that, yeah. But that's another one. And is Gary even still in the band, Gary Rosington? I know he had
Hold on a second. I was
right.
doing this today. I was having some fun with
What were you
this.
doing?
Watch this.
What are you
This is
doing?
fun. You go to Google.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's
all right.
that?
Okay.
Goggle. Go.
Current members of Leonard Skinner.
Okay.
Okay. Let's
This
see if
is
there's
amazing.
anybody
When
we
did-
know.
When did this come out?
Hold on, say this isn't right. List of.
We went current.
It's
There
here,
you
it's
go.
here, it's
Look
here.
at you. All right. According to
The
this.
Gary Rosington, man. What did you wheel him out on a fucking wheelchair?
must.
Ricky Medlock, who was in what band was he in? He was in Black Oak, Arkansas. Is that him? Yeah.
I think so.
Johnny Van Zant, who's the son,
I believe so, yeah.
son or grandson or something
Yeah,
of
yeah.
one of them.
But yeah, the rest of them.
Michael Cartelloni,
Hey, Carloni, how
Mark
you doing?
Matajak,
Hey.
Peter Keys.
Yeah. So
Is Peter Keys related to Billy Keys? I don't know.
I don't
But
know.
this is just like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, just come on, dude. Like, this enough's. I know. Here's like when Greg Allman died. They went and did some like tribute stuff with Warren Haynes and stuff, but the brothers were over.
Yeah.
The Allman Brothers were done.
Right.
But that moved to like the Tedeschi Trucks thing. So a lot of those
Exactly.
players and stuff
Yeah.
came over, and that's totally fine. I think that's a way more legit way than just being, kids getting up there and just pretending to be the Allman Brothers when you're not. Like, be something else and play great jam rock or whatever.
So,
but
Rick,
back to Skinner. Go ahead.
Ricky was in Blackfoot.
Blackfoot.
There
Okay.
we go. And Johnny is Ronnie's brother. See, isn't this internet shit is really cool? Thank you to Bobby and Vince. Thank you guys. Thanks for chiming in.
Vinny, thank you very much.
Hey. Sorry, we're both Italian. Anyway. But yeah, it's another case where it's almost like a tribute band because there's like one member there.
Yeah. Well, I think that it's disgusting.
Is it?
It's disgusting.
Stop it.
Completely inappropriate.
I'm going to throw up.
Yeah. I mean, when they came out and everything, like it was a very cool thing. But honestly, dude, when the plane crashed, that should have been it.
Yeah.
There was a Rossington Collins band,
Which
they,
Yeah.
in my opinion, should have kept going. They could have brought little Van Zant in to sing with them.
Exactly.
They probably wouldn't do that because of of money. I know somebody who's close to that situation, or was close to that situation in like late 90s and early 2000s, and it's like the reason why they like everybody who's been in a big southern rock band has been in Skinner. You know that a bunch of guys from Molly Hatchet have been in Skinner. Guys from Blackfoot, guys from Black Oak, Arkansas, guys from a bunch of them have all just kind of been, have had this revolving door. And the story goes is that when the money starts getting good, Mama Van Zant doesn't want to pay you, and she fires you.
Yep.
And she fires you. That's what
Exactly.
that's what she does. And so it was a sham ever since then. They haven't done anything fucking relevant.
There's nothing new.
Like,
They
look,
go out and do
man.
the hits, end with Freebird.
They ventured into no new territory. What I have to say about the Allman Brothers is, they went through a real turbulent time. Dickie Betts didn't lead the band, but they brought in Warren Haynes. Mm-hmm. When they settled with Warren Haynes, like, they kind of reinvigorated the band. And they did that, seven turns. They did that album, which was a fucking classic album that came out in the 90s, So they had a resurgence and everything,
Right.
And then there were young bands that got people interested in jam rock bands like Fish.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they were able to kind of like reinvented themselves. It was a little different. Skinner just like this, like they could never do it. It was always the kind of like, okay, that's great, Freebird Part 7. Yeah. So anyway, that's sort of my opinion on Skinner.
Yes.
Great band. I mean, no disrespect, man. I think you get up to the plane crash, you got a fucking awesome, like, very, very cool thing. Very
good
unique.
heritage.
Great
leave it
songwriting. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Best
But
leave it
after
alone.
that, like, it was no.
Right.
They should have kept the Rossington Collins band.
Yeah, definitely. That was a good band.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yugi.
I agree.
Hooray! All right, who you got?
I'm going to talk about this band
Are
here.
you now?
These guys started out as the Jefferson Airplane.
Right.
Then they became the Jefferson Starship because
Correct.
airplanes were kind of like,
It's
we're not doing
passe.
it. Yeah.
That's so 1960.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? It's the space age. And they became Jefferson Starship. And then they were like, well, what's the nobody understood the Jefferson. They were like, you have something to do with the Jeffersons on TV. And they were like, no.
I don't think that was
They
it.
kept people asking, where's
Wheezy?
Where's Wheezy? and they even wrote a song called Where's Wheezy? They do. They have a song called Where's Wheezy? They do not have a song called Where's Wheezy. I'm just lying. No, I'm just being, being serious.
Wow. Where's Wheezy?
So
Where's Wheezy?
they were
Tuk, 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 tuk,
now look. In all fairness, the Jeffersons, well, just
The
call them
Jeffersons.
that, have had
Oh, Lord.
a lot of lineup changes over the years.
Yes. Yes, they have.
But come on, man, like, the bitch that sang White Rabbit,
Yeah.
and she retired at 30. She said
Yes.
she wasn't going to be like 35
Right.
or something on a rock
still
station.
singing,
and still being on a rock station. She was very much against that. And so, I mean, Marty Ballin left and he went and had a solo career. They brought in, he's got Mickey Thomas, but he's
Right.
gone. Like,
Yeah.
so all the era of now they had a really big resurgence in the 80s as
Yes.
Starship.
Right.
With We Built This City
Right.
and, all those Jane and all those really cool, Find Your Way Back. That's a killer
There you go.
song.
Yep, yep.
Rock and roll music. Like
Yep.
they had, there was a cool, Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now. Mm-hmm. That was a cool Sarah.
Right.
That was a cool.
Yeah, so they've
that was a
got
cool era.
Yeah.
So they had this big kind of resurgence, but they're still fucking touring and stuff. And it's like there isn't one person
Right.
that's like not really. Not really. I mean, you could kind of make a case for this one dude who was kind of in the middle and then he came back. But it's
But
no. Stop.
Alto.
What happens
Halt.
is it's anytime you take something and you try to like milk it,
Yeah.
you start to lose what made it special, the thing that made it special in the first place. And the whole thing gets tainted. It's no different than people who go around crying, whatever, discrimination or abuse or whatever, who haven't really been discriminated or really abused.
Right.
And what it does is makes the people that really have been had the shit kicked out of them in life. It makes them
minimalizes
their
pain.
what's going on
Yeah,
with them,
exactly, right?
And so people are going to be less inclined to help them. Okay, so it kind of sucks the juice out of that thing. It's the same way what you do when you have these bands. Now, it'd be different if Starship was like they had like reworked their sound and they were doing something new and it was really cool and they had just had a big record in 2010 or something like that. That'd be like but they didn't. And most of the girls we're talking about here are just like touring oldies acts.
Exactly.
And they're not good. And like it's disingenuous for these guys to call themselves what they're calling themselves because they don't really have any people in the band doing that. It needs to fucking stop.
Halt.
And let me talk to you. Yes, you, Mr. and Mrs. Listener, Mr. and Mrs. Non-gender specific listener, if you will.
Sure. If you please.
Listen to me. You're part of the fucking problem.
Oh.
Stop buying the tickets to this shit. Right. Especially when they cost the kind of fucking money they do. Don't go to this shit. You gotta vote with your fucking dollars, man. That's I think one of the things that happened. I don't know. I think one of the things that happened is because there was a pandemic and there was no shows for a year and a half. That like some people go to everything. People go to, and I think that there is a sense of that. I'll be honest with you. There's artists that I know probably wouldn't be that great, but I'd probably go see because I'm like I never saw them, and I'll probably will never get a chance to see them after God only knows. And we're all going like. Well, they fucked the world up once. So it looks to me like they could probably do it again. So, better see as many shows as you can.
Right. Yeah. Get out there now. But people, come on.
But really, seriously, it's like, there's no excuse for that. Just let's just stop right now. You don't need to be going seeing this garbage. There's probably really great local bands that you could go see.
Exactly. Support your local bands.
Support your. So what do you got?
All right. So my next one. So this is actually a fella.
Oh, fella! It's no nice fella.
Let me look at my papers here. This fella's name is John Michael Osborne. Right. You might know him better as Ozzy Osbourne. Ozzy was born December 3rd, 1940.
Ozzy was born?
He was born. He was not spawned.
Osborne. Ozzy was born. You didn't even hear what you did there.
I didn't even catch that.
Wow.
Hold on. Let me give him a beer.
You better redo that.
Thanks, Honky.
Honky said, "Hey, Honky."
Oh.
Honky can come out and play now since
Lily's not here. Mr. Osborne was delivered December 3rd, 1948. He's 73 years old.
God bless him.
Wow. His first band, 1967, was Rare Breed. They did 2 shows and broke up. 1969. We joined a little band called Black Sabbath. I'm trying my best here. Stop. 1978, he left the band to work on a project called Blizzard of Oz. Am I going to have to take that mouse? Get your hand out my wife's mouse. That's close, right?
Out of my wife's mouth.
So he do you like that?
Yeah, you might want to do that.
Yeah, you might want to
I mean,
do
if
that.
I came home, I saw somebody's hand in my wife's mouth. Yeah,
her mouth?
I might say, come on, get your hands
Get
out
your
of
hand
my
out
wife's
my wife's mouth. So he left the band for 3 months and returned. He left again in 1979. Listen to this. He was fired. This is hard to believe when I read this.
Ozzy was fired from something?
Hard to believe why he was fired.
Oh.
I couldn't believe it when I read this. Fired because of drug and alcohol abuse.
Not Ozzy.
I know, right?
He's definitely not the kind of person that would ever do any kind of drugs or anything. Poor Ozzy.
So
We were picking on him.
of course, he began his solo career. His biggest like money maker, his big financial thing was the Ozfest. Remember that?
Yes.
Started in 1996.
96 dudes.
Now, here's the thing, Lou, and we've discussed this. The thing that killed it for Ozzy, for me...
Killed it. Dead.
Was a 19... No, I'm sorry, 19... Jesus Christ.
Oh, praise his name.
In 2002, a little show came on the air called The Osbournes. Remember that? Ran
Yes,
from
I do.
2002, 2003. Yes. He remembers it too. Thank you, Bones. And here's the Prince of Darkness, and now you get a look into his personal life, and he's just kind of like a bumbling grandfather. Exactly. That was him sitting down. So that kind of ruined it for me. And even afterwards, when he'd go out on tour and stuff, and he's supposed to be the Prince of Darkness, I'm like, no, you're the dude that sat down in a chair and fell backwards over, you know.
Yeah. No, it's Here comes Ozzy. That's Ozzy's new theme song.
Oh, Lord.
Comes Ozzy walking down the street, trying not to fall off his feet.
Right. Oh, you just wrote a song.
Sweet Ozzy.
Yeah.
God bless him. Now they reinvented him.
Yes.
Okay, as that. And like, you know, from a business standpoint, it's fucking brilliant. But what does it really do for it? It
kind of ruined the image.
I think it kind of takes away from the music.
Exactly.
From what he's trying to do.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna like? Financially, it was probably a good idea because now they're making the money off the TV show, but that mystique is gone. You know. Know what I mean? Know what I mean, Jelly Bean?
I know what you mean, Jelly Bean. Who made the remark about Quiet Riot? You're absolutely right. They could definitely be on this list.
Oh, Bobby Adams. Thank you, Bobby. Yeah, that was one that I thought about because is Rudy in it? Rudy Sarzo? I don't know. What?
No, it might be. It might be.
Did he come back?
He might be the only person doing it.
Yeah. But yeah, Quiet Riot definitely.
So yeah, I mean they definitely be on there. But I would have to agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Ozzy. I mean,
I love the guy.
but I mean, I shouldn't say poor Ozzy. He had this like fantabulous career.
Right.
You know, he got to like be like the king of heavy metal, and
right.
you know come on, he doesn't really have anything to like be ashamed of in that sense. Like you know, what I mean, he left his awesome legacy. The music's fucking great, and he was able to keep things going for a long time.
Yes.
That's atypical for most bands, but like he did the whole Sabbath thing, and then when he did his Aussie stuff, you know, it ebbed and flowed, but for pretty much he was there and like was playing big shows. Right. And then in the 90s, when they did that No More Tears album, like he had a giant like resurgence, which is interesting because they toured on that for a really long time, even though grunge was out. Like they like it didn't it was like the Guns N' Roses and the Metallica thing. Like those things, the grunge didn't seem to affect those guys.
Right.
They just kept doing what they were doing.
Through.
Yeah. But you know, and then he became he reinvented himself. I mean, this is something that I thought that Van Halen needed to do. Like if Eddie wasn't gonna die and all that stuff, but if they were really gonna try to do something, they really needed to find some way to connect with people now and not be like a nostalgia thing.
Right, exactly.
And that was the one thing about Ozzy becoming, you know, the Osbournes. It gave him a way to do that.
Yes.
To connect with people like right now with what people were into, and it was a reality TV thing and everything, you know. And you know, here's you know, Gene Simmons is way too arrogant to admit this, but they did that show after the Osbournes. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's not nearly as good.
No.
And you could tell that like it was something Gene wished he would have thought of.
Yeah.
It's a very kind of thing. It comes right out. Honestly, Sharon, I gotta hand it to you because they took it right out of the Kiss playbook. And that is something that I can't believe they missed that one.
I'm really sorry I didn't think of that first. Kiss would have been great in that aspect. Would have been really good.
Vince confirms that Rudy Sarzo is back in Quiet Riot. So yes,
All right, Vince.
we were correct. Thank you, Vince.
Going by Vince here.
Yes, Vince knows who he
Vincenzo Di
is.
Credenzo.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Vincenzo.
All right, your turn.
I'm talking about these guys right here, and these guys need to stop.
Yeah.
Like it has to end.
Does it have to?
It has to end. It's Kiss. It's gotta fucking
we
end.
were just talking about him.
Dude, like
I don't know what your problem is.
it has to stop.
Just buy the Kiss
It has to fucking stop. I mean, they've got like 2 of the guys up there are wearing makeup, and they're not even the guys. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
it's come on. It's bullshit.
It's bullshit.
I mean, like, Eric Singer and Tommy Thayer are great musicians. I mean, they're way better than Peter and Chris and Ace, really. You know, but, you know, and they've been like, I don't need to get into the whole thing, right, guys? The being busted, it's all over YouTube with the singing and they're not really singing and like, you know, like,
Maybe he's a ventriloquist.
So basically, what they're doing is they're pantomiming to Kiss songs.
Lou,
and
did you
swinging and across the stadium and shit like that?
Lou, did you hear about the stripper ventriloquist?
Tell me about the stripper ventriloquist.
She's really good. You can't see her lips move. And now back to the show.
I was thinking of hold on. I know a really dirty joke.
I bet you do.
We'll have to get back to that.
I bet you do.
But anyways, you guys know who Kiss is? American rock band formed in New York City in
Yes.
1973. Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, Ace Frehley, and Peter Criss. Yeah, of course, they painted themselves up like, you know, crazy comic book characters in a way.
Knights in Satan's service, Lou. I'm going to pray for you.
I wish you would.
You're welcome.
So, but yeah, they've, you know, several lineup changes. We know, blah, 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 blah. In any case, these guys are like, they have this massive career. And then, like, they're going out, like, I think on a kind of a sour note, no pun intended. You know. Sorry. It's hard for me to give myself my own sound effect.
Yeah?
You know, and say something.
Yeah, see, that wasn't good.
Yeah, it didn't work out.
No, it didn't work out. Well, we
But-
live and learn.
But,
Yeah.
but I don't know who we were talking. Who was I talking?
Kiss.
No, I know
Oh,
which
I was
bands.
talking
But who I was
about. I thought
talking
you
with
were
about like
short-term
if you
memory
take
loss.
away the theatrics,
Yes.
what would they be? Would they have been like? Would people have been like? Would they have been like a really celebrated band for their
No.
songs?
No. The songs were fun, but
I just don't know if they would have been more like ended up being like a band like maybe like T-Rex or the New York Dolls.
exactly.
You know what I mean? That were like kind of like fondly kind of remembered, and people knew they had some cool, you know, catchy rock songs, and that maybe bands later on covered or something like
Right.
that. You know, or if they would have been mega stars, without that, we will obviously never know.
No.
I think most people are in agreement though that like that was what got them.
Oh, definitely.
That's what set them apart. It's what got the attention to them. And now they were very smart, and that was they're very smart business people. So Paul and Gene and Paul are very, very, very smart guys. And so that didn't hurt either.
Right.
You know.
Very
So
smart.
yeah, so they were. How they got initially noticed was they held this show in New York City with another band that was like really popular, like local band. And so what they did was they had practiced and they had their show down with the theatrics and the whole
Right.
thing, you know what I mean? But they were like, it wasn't going to do them any good unless they got in front of. Now they were in New York City, so
Right.
So unless they got in front of like people from record labels, or people from record labels are actually in New York City or going through there all the time. So like a place like that, you can't. It's hard to do that like in a place like Pittsburgh, or,
Right.
or Cleveland or Cincinnati or whatever. but in New York City, you could do that. So that's what they did, and they paid for everything. Okay, and big lights, big sound, and everything, and they marketed to these. They like left the first like 4 rows open for like record company people and stuff
Yes.
like that, and the place was fucking packed, but nobody knew who they were. Because they were there to see this other band,
Right.
but they didn't care about that because
Yes.
they made all their money back because because all the tickets that this other band sold,
right.
and so it didn't cost them anything, and they ended up getting in front of, and this is what got them their like kind of initial notice,
Good. See?
you know, like so like, but they were like, no bands were thinking of doing shit like that in 76 3, 2, whatever,
Exactly.
whatever that was. I mean, that was just, that was out there. You got to hand it to him for shit like that.
Yes.
But like, I don't know, man. Like, I know they took the makeup off in the 80s and they had big hits. So I don't know what to say about it, but they definitely need to hang it up, man. You can't be doing this lips. I mean,
Right.
especially
even
if
Gene
look,
is saying like,
Yeah.
he's what am I going to be 80 years old trying to lug all this costume around the stage? He goes, no, I won't be doing that.
well, here's the deal. Then they need to fucking quit.
Yeah.
How much goddamn money do you need?
Wow.
How many Kiss coffins can you fucking sell? I'm serious, man. Like, here's what I think people that don't play music don't understand about this. Mm-hmm. There's a massive
Yes.
Yes. high that you get when you, and I've experienced it just playing like little local shit. And people really liked what I was doing. Dude, when you get that and it's like and there's like thousands of people, dude, that's gotta be like, that's the shit.
Oh yeah.
And so they're kind of addicted. I think you get kind of addicted to that.
Right.
Like you want that to continue.
I think that's why a lot of these bands are continuing on. They still like that.
Yeah, they want to have that feeling. They want to.
Yeah,
They want to continue
exactly.
to live that. What do you got?
Let's take a look at my handy dandy list here. See what else I got. All right, I'll go with this one. ZZ Top. Oh, look. ZZ Top was formed 1969.
69, dudes.
First album. Excuse me. I know that was a door, but it sounded like something else. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
First album, 1971. Of course, they had a big MTV presence when. Let me do it again. When Billy was asked why they were so big on MTV, he had a one-word answer. Do you remember what it was? Nipples. That was his answer, and it was so true. 15 studio albums, over 50 million albums sold. Of course, we all know Dusty Hill died 2021. You would think that would be the end of it, but no, their next show is in Dubuque, Iowa, August 23rd. So
I see where you're coming from on that, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a problem going to see that. Let me tell you why.
talk to me, Goose.
I would tell you why. Because Billy Gibbons is still a monster guitar player.
is true.
He still plays great and he still sings great.
All right, then.
Like, you know what I mean? No, you're right. And they need to be thinking about hanging it up quick. So they need to be kind of wrapping things up. I agree with you. Because without Dusty Hill there, I mean, and what a lot of people don't realize about Dusty Hill, too, he sang Tush and he sang some of their big songs.
Right. Yep.
And amazing voice and songwriter in just in his own right. and it is. It's really tough. I mean, you got three. I mean, it's like Rush. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
With Neil Peart. Like,
Yeah,
And
it's stunning,
I think
yeah.
that like I agree with that. But Bill, I would probably still go only because I know that Billy is still such a monster, and everybody that sees
I
them
can
says
see
that
that.
like he still sounds and plays
Yeah.
really well. I mean, you know, what's he gonna do? Like at this stage in the game, like, okay, I'm going to change it to the Billy Gibbons band because I want to be blah blah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, him and Frank are probably like, you want to keep playing? You want to keep playing? Let's just keep playing.
Yeah. All right.
What else you can do? I don't know. We don't know what else to do. Did you
we do.
ever see their documentary on Netflix?
Yes.
It's the most boring
Yes.
rock documentary because
know,
nobody does anything. They have no problems.
Yeah. It's
Frank
like
Beard was on heroin, and they all took a break, and they let him get better, and then it came
And
back.
that was it.
That was it.
That was it.
It was the whole thing, you know. They truly like they reminded me of Rush in that way.
Right.
Rush is like, you
Kinda
know,
very boring.
Yeah,
And
they
just,
don't in terms
you
of
know.
their lifestyle. Rush documentary was pretty good, but like anyway, in any case, but yeah, I could see where you're coming from, but I wouldn't put them on my list
All right,
personally.
all right, good rebuttal.
I have to say though, Foreigner needs to like change.
Oh,
they need
yeah.
to stop using the name.
Sure.
Okay, look, here's what happens. They get up to play, and there's not one person, original member.
No.
And about an hour into the show,
Oh, boy.
Mick Jones comes out.
Uh-huh.
Nobody claps because nobody knows who he is or nothing. And he plays a few songs.
Wow.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, just, you know, you're not Foreigner, you're a Foreigner true, but people go. People go, you people out there just spending up that goddamn money. You know what I mean? Paying way too fucking much when you probably go hear a local foreigner tribute band, probably
Right.
blow your fucking socks off.
Exactly. Right.
You know what I mean? You go hear those guys in like a smelly club, man, with fucking like sweat dripping down their faces and really putting on a show because they like trying to make something fucking happen.
Exactly.
In any case, yeah, I got to say foreigner right there, right up there with this airplane starship debacle.
Yep.
What you got? We got anything else you want to say?
We'll do one more here, and somebody had mentioned it earlier in the comments. Bon Jovi.
I don't know about that. There's
See, I
one
was-
video.
Yeah. What?
There's one or
Yeah,
two,
what?
one or two videos where he sounds bad.
Yeah.
He had fucking COVID. Give the guy a break.
He had COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
All right. Hold on. Where's my pen?
I mean, I think I
take that right
dude,
off
you
the
can
list.
leave it on your list.
No, I'm taking it off, Lou. I didn't realize that about John. John, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he was really sick. I don't know though. Like, I haven't seen him live. If you've seen him live, maybe you can say no, he sucks. But
Sorry, John.
what's going on with a lot of these bands is they are like truly franchise bands. That's
No,
real-
wait, hold on.
Hold on.
Bobby Adams, our good friend Bobby Adams, Bon Jovi is done. So there you go. That case is closed. Thank you, Bob.
What's happened, I think, a lot of these bands is like we talked about earlier, like they're sort of becoming franchise bands. You know what I mean? It doesn't really matter. It's like, who's going to play in the new Twilight movie? You know what I mean? Doesn't matter. It's a Twilight movie. People are going to go. Yeah. Who's going to be in the new Marvel movie? Like, we don't care.
Just throw somebody
it's
in
Marvel movie. We're going to go see it. Who's going to be in Motley Crue? We don't care.
We don't care.
Actually, anybody who's other than who's the guys who are in there now would be better, probably. That's on my list too, just as an aside.
Yeah.
I do want to mention Paul McCartney.
Ooh, Paul McCartney.
Because Paul has some current-ish records that he doesn't play any material from, and he should because it's good. He's Paul McCartney. Like, he's still fucking great
So Paul.
songwriter.
Right.
But they're not doing. He does. When you hear him do "Hey Jude" and this song, he sounded good really up until just a couple of years ago. He was doing really well.
Yeah.
I think maybe before the pandemic, is maybe that was the cutoff. But
Maybe he
people
had
are like
COVID.
saying that he really sounded great up until just very, very recently.
Recently, yeah.
Again, he's 80.
He's 64. I still love him though.
But you need him. Do you feed him?
Yeah. Oh, I'd feed him. Sure. I'd give him some cereal.
And there's stuff that he does that still sounds like Paul McCartney, but he's got these things. And I don't know if we should stop. I don't understand why he's still playing.
Yeah, I don't.
Because him and Ringo Starr is another one. Like, they don't need to play.
It's what we talked about earlier. They love getting out there and performing.
Yeah.
That's got to be it. He doesn't
That has
need
to be
money.
it. That has to be it.
Yeah.
It has to just be the kick of
gotta be.
playing.
Yeah.
Here at 80 years old, I still want to get on a rock and roll stage.
Right.
I
Exactly.
mean, it must
God
be that
bless
good. I mean, the
him.
Stones, they're on my list as well.
Stones.
But I do want to mention somebody who, as a sort of, well, if you were to say, well, Lou, look, you're picking on all my favorite bands and you're giving everybody shit and everything like that. Is there anybody who you think, like, as an older statesman of rock and roll, is still, like, doing something relevant and sounding good and finding a way to kind of be themselves and still pull it off? I would say there's probably a few, but I would definitely say Robert Plant. Robert Plant is completely... His voice was changing at the close as Led Zeppelin was kind of wrapping up.
Right.
His voice was already changing, and you listen to how he reinvented himself in the 80s. And he had big records. I mean, he was all over the rock stations here in Pittsburgh. I don't know where you're from, everybody out there in podcast land. But he had really big hits. And then he reinvented himself again in the 90s with this more sort of earthy, Americana-esque kind of stuff, 29 Palms and, those songs and everything. And then, like, he starts doing these, like, really interesting bands. Like, he had a group, I can't remember. He had a group, like, in the early 2000s. Robert Plant and the New Sensation or something like that. Yeah. And, man, they touched on every era of his career and new stuff.
Yeah.
And... they did really cool reworkings. He started doing Black Dog like in all of his bands now.
Okay.
And no matter what kind of band it is, that band plays it the way that band plays it.
Okay,
They don't
that's
try
cool.
to
Sure,
sound like
sure.
Led Zeppelin.
Right.
And so this Robert Plant and the New Sensation, they have a very awesome version of. You can find it on YouTube. But then when he started working, when he did that record with all those guest stars like Patty Griffin and Buddy Miles on guitar, he called it Band of Joy. Well,
Okay.
they did Black Dog too.
Yeah.
And did like a whole different kind of thing with it.
Right.
You know, and he sounded good. He worked the melodies on these songs and stuff so that it sounds really good with the way his voice sounds now. It
Yeah.
doesn't like,
Yeah,
you
I
know what I
remember
mean?
that.
He's like,
Yeah.
you know, and he sounded great. I
there
mean,
you
they
go.
did the Rain song and, you know, stuff like that. He sounded really fucking good. And I think that it shows that you can do it. You know what I mean? You have to kind of use your
You have to
imagination.
understand where you're at in your life, what you're capable of, and then utilize that.
Yeah, making the
Perfect.
most out of the fact that you're a different person now. I mean, so I think that that's an example of somebody who's, you could say, like, is doing it kind of like the right way.
Right.
I haven't heard Robert recently. I can't imagine though that he is going to tour that much more.
Right.
I mean, like when I've heard him like talk, he has his own podcast now.
Oh, really?
Even when you hear him talk, he's to me sounds like he's kind of slowing down a little bit.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like maybe his days of touring and stuff. They still do records, but that project he does with Alison Krauss, by the way, they do Black Dog in that
fantastic.
too.
Yeah. Remember that?
And they do a very cool like reworking of it. So it's just a good example of how you can do that. But yeah, so that's our list. Take
you
it or
go.
leave it. Bon Jovi is a kind of, we don't know.
Riffy.
Kevin, we do have new and notable. We want to tell some folks about some bands that, if you haven't, you know, one of the things we like to do here is introduce folks to cool music. So we're going to do that here in 1 second. First, I want to give a shout out to Wolf's Customs. Go to wolfscustoms.online or find them on the social media to check out great ideas for custom finishes on your musical instruments. RockRageRadio.com. Download the app. Loudini, rockandrollcircus.com. You want to check it out. We've got all kind of goodies there. You can become part of our inner circle group where you get to hang out with us live. I do stuff throughout the week and everything like that as well. There's also tons of links, including a link to our brand new TikTok page. And I'm really looking forward to TikTok. I'm doing all kind of cool videos for TikTok right now. I'm really kind of concentrating on that. So there's more information there on that.
Every now and again, like your TikTok will come up on my For You page, and it'll be one of our show bits, and I lived it. I did it with you, and I'll just bust out laughing because it's so freaking funny.
Some of them are really, there's some gold
Some are
nuggets
really
in there
good
for sure.
ones.
Thank you, Hal Cohen, for all your hard work putting those together. So let's talk about, we do have some new and notable. So one of the things we want to do here is show you guys some stuff that you may not have heard of that's relatively new. So, you know, you don't have to just sit around listening to Skinner and Queen and the Rolling Stones and Led Zeppelin and bands like that. There is some new music being made you might want to check out. So what do you got there, Mr.
So I
Pittsburgh?
stumbled upon these girls. I don't want to say girls. They are young ladies, and they rock. Their name is Thunder Mother. Thunder Mother, oh, one word. These guys, when I first saw their videos, I was very... they're very reminiscent of like the Runaways or the Donnas. I thought they were really cool. Where are they from? Let's take a look here. I don't know. Their website's a little spotty, but that's okay. I'm trying to see where they're from here. I'm glad I came prepared, Lou.
Just talk amongst yourselves, everybody.
Just talk amongst yourselves.
Just talk
Yeah, it
amongst
doesn't really
yourselves.
matter.
Yeah. Thunder Mother's great. I had their second lead singer on the podcast. I interviewed her a number of years ago.
Nice.
Very, very, very cool. Very, very cool. Anything else you want to add about Thunder Mother?
No, just give them a listen.
The new song is
See
called
what you
Black and Gold, and there's a link to it in our show notes. Tobias Samet's Avantasia.
Wow.
It's hard to say. This just came out. If you guys, Tobias Samet's Avantasia.
Okay, Avantasia. I like that. Let's go with that.
Tobias Samet's
you
Avantasia.
go.
I can't say it, but it's really cool. It's got a very cool video. If you guys want to find out about new stuff. There's some YouTube channels that are like cool rock record labels.
Yes.
Frontiers Music is one of them. The other one is Nuclear Blast. So
What? Wait, what? Nuclear.
Nuclear Blast.
You said nuclear.
Nuclear. I did not say that. Nuclear.
I swear to God.
Nuclear.
Nuclear.
What's nuclear?
That's George Bush pronouncing it.
Nuclear.
It's like nails on the chalkboard to me.
Did I say nuclear?
I think you
No,
said
no.
it because you just said it so fast.
Nuclear.
Nuclear.
Nuclear Blast. I'm just from now it's nuclear.
Oh God. Why do you hate me so?
Nuclear.
Nuclear. Yeah,
Nuclear Blast Records. It's new and it's clear and it'll blast you.
Yeah, baby.
So check them out. It is generally the stuff is the harder edged, more on the metal side of stuff, but they do a lot of really cool rock stuff too. So check that out. So Mr. Pittsburgh.
That's what they call me.
Styx has been around for 50 years. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about this. I don't know who made the comment about Styx.
That would be our good friend Bobby Adams.
Okay, Bob, listen. Styx still sounds great, and I agree. And this is their 50-year anniversary. Wow. And there's a tour, and if I can, I'd like to go see it. It's interesting though because Dennis DeYoung is touring.
Oh. Oh.
And there's this,
open.
I mean, like, here's what I don't understand, man. After all this time, they can't bury the fucking hatchet with Dennis DeYoung.
I know. Come on.
You know, like,
on.
I mean, that, you know, I think they're great, man. And Tommy Shaw is a like a monster songwriter and singer and great guitar player. And him and JY have a great like dual guitar thing going on. But the Panazzo brothers have been dead. They're gone, right? Neither one of them, I think, are playing, right? I think they're both dead. Did they both die? I know one of them died.
Anybody out there?
Anybody out there? Maybe you
Talk
could
to us, Goose.
you could give us the. Here, let's just pull it up real quick.
Okay, why not? If only there was some way we could access information.
Of course, it brings me up Styx from Greek mythology.
How about Styx Band?
Styx band.
There you go. Looking.
Let me see. Looking. Chuck Panazzo is still there.
He's still there.
John Panazzo it has passed away. So I was wrong about that.
you go.
So you do have Chuck, JY, and Tommy.
Yes.
Okay. But I mean, I don't know I mean, they don't have Dennis DeYoung.
No.
And a lot of people don't. But here's what they're doing, man. They're oh shit, dude. Well, I just lost my train of thought. Shit, dude. But here's what they're doing. They're not playing some of their biggest songs.
What?
Like they won't play Mr. Roboto. They won't play Don't Let It End.
Huh.
There's a lot of they won't do Babe.
Yeah.
Like really?
Like this.
I mean, not even that. Like those are I could probably go to a Styx concert and not hear those songs and be totally fine. Mm-hmm. But like I can imagine a lot of people like those songs would want to hear them. Like that's like when I went to see Counting Crows.
Yeah.
They played every song except Mr. Jones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
As
like,
you do.
and they've said that they don't like that song.
Huh.
They don't really like it. They're like, it was a kind of like, they didn't really even think much of it when they recorded it.
It was a joke, wasn't it?
And they feel, did they have better songs? Yeah, but that was their breakout hit.
Yeah.
That's a song that got
People know
everybody
that.
to
Yeah,
listen to them. You know what I mean? So them not playing, Mr. Roboto, where Mr. Roboto is actually their biggest song.
Really?
I mean, we think about, Renegade and Grand Illusion and all those more like kind of rockin' tunes and everything.
Yep.
But Mr. Roboto was their biggest song.
Let's not play it.
We're not gonna play that one. That's our biggest song. No, we're not playing that.
Yeah.
We don't play any songs people know. You know what I mean?
Screw you guys. Screw you guys.
But yeah, there's.
comparison going on.
One of the reasons why these guys have these issues with their voices and stuff too, is too much touring. You have the human voice. Oh, what the kind of abortion is this?
What the hell's up on the screen? Ow.
The screen like puked up. Oh, come on, that's not gonna fly. Let's get this straight. Anyways, that's too hard. You can't do that, especially the type of intense singing
God, yeah.
that a lot of these guys are doing.
Well,
yeah.
what's going on here?
I don't know.
We're trying to find this day in Beatle history.
Okay, here we go.
There we go.
We're having there's a glitch in the internet, but anyways, it's really hard. It's really hard. And anybody who sings
really
knows
hard.
that like it's brutal on your that especially that kind of singing.
Yeah.
Even I was listening to somebody talk about this, and even Johnny Cash's voice changed. And you don't even think of him as singing like
Right.
Yeah, you know
But
what
if you're
I mean?
out there singing that,
He's singing
day
all the
after
yeah.
day
So
after
even
day.
his voice changed.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead. We do have this day and what the Beatles did, but we're not gonna start with the Beatles.
No.
On this day in 1956, Elvis, the pelvis himself,
Oh my.
began work. What people forget is
Yes.
that in addition to being the king of rock and roll, he was a giant movie star. Elvis was a giant movie
Right.
star. He was working on his first movie called Love Me Tender.
There you go.
It was not originally the movie was called The Reno Brothers. I did know this, but
Oh,
they
really?
because he sang the song Love Me Tender and they wanted to push
wanted it.
probably Tom Parker probably said
Colonel Angus?
probably said
Colonel Tom?
told oh dude, I keep running into shit that Elvis was going to be in.
Yeah?
And Tom Parker, we could do a whole podcast
oh
on it.
my
I pulled him out
gosh.
of. He Barbara Streisand wanted him for the lead in A Star Is Born. That would have been fucking awesome,
Holy
dude.
cow.
He probably would have kicked the shit. He would have been, yeah, it would have been a serious role and
Yeah,
everything
exactly.
for him.
Instead
And he
of the
still could have done
goofy shit he
music
done.
and everything, you know? Like, I mean, I think that would have been fucking made for him.
Parker.
And she, yeah, and she,
That would have been
and
interesting.
he,
So cool.
and he didn't allow Elvis to do it. You know why? Because Barbara Streisand did not want to talk to Tom Parker. She went right to Elvis.
Oh.
And Tom Parker was like, "Fuck
no.
you! Nobody
That's
goes
not
to
the
Elvis.
way it's done
You go
here."
to me first." And then he was also asked to be in True Grit with John Wayne instead of Glenn Campbell.
Really?
Yes. In fact, I can't remember the director
Wow.
offhand was like they were pissed because Elvis is actually an actor.
Yeah.
And this is the only thing Glenn Campbell had ever done.
He's a
Yeah,
musician.
Yeah, he was a musician. He had
Yeah.
never acted in anything. Although I think when you watch that movie, now, I think the Glenn Campbell's performance is very, very good. I don't think it like hurt the movie at all. And it's considered a classic. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
But Elvis was considered was asked to do that, and Tom Parker was like, "Yeah, we're not interested." He did that. He did that. There's tons of stories like that. You go like, what?
Man.
And like, it just would have been very cool for the world.
Right.
Had Elvis
See-
like been a little bit more multi-dimensional and done
Right,
things like
right.
that.
Done
you know.
some really good
Yeah.
movie, good acting. All
Yeah.
right.
Okay. go
This
ahead.
day, 1962, the first TV appearance of the Beatles was recorded by Manchester-based Granada TV. Why?
The Manchester Craftsman's Guild. I know.
why are you
I
doing
just
this?
realized you were talking.
Folks,
I had to. Look
I'm
at-
reading from the script here, and Lou completely changes the screen. Thanks, buddy. It was recorded by the Manchester-based Granada TV, who filmed a lunchtime session at the Cavern Club in Liverpool. The performance was shown on October 17th, 1962. Right, Bones, right?
The Beatles. Don't worry, there's plenty more Beatles to come.
Thank God.
On this day in 1963, Billy J. Kramer and the Dakotas were number one on the UK singles charts with Bad to Me,
You Bad
a
to
song
Me.
John Lennon wrote for them while on holiday in Spain with Brian Epstein.
Holiday.
The track later became the first Lennon-McCartney composition to reach the U.S. top 40 for an artist other than the Beatles.
How about that? Well, ain't that some
Even way
shit?
back in '63, man, they were like, these guys are fucking
Yeah,
songwriters.
they're out
Other-
there songwriting
yeah.
for other bands.
Yeah, I mean, like that early. They hadn't even really become like the Beatles the way
Right,
we think
right,
of them now.
right,
You
right.
know what I mean?
On this day, 1964, the Supremes started a 2-week run at number 1 on the U.S. singles chart with "Where Did Our Love Go?" The girls' group's
I'm trying to
first number.
find it.
It's over there.
can't
It's over
find it.
there. It's right down there. See it? See it? The girls' group's first number 1, Holland Dozier Holland, had originally, what the hell? Is that the name of a songwriter? I don't know.
Yeah, those are the songwriters.
Okay, all right. It really confused me. Had originally composed the song for the Marvelettes to record, who rejected the songs.
Stupid!
I reject you.
Stupid! You could have had a really good song with that one.
They're like, yeah, we're going to pass on that.
Yeah, no, thank you. Well, give it to the Supremes.
On this day in 1966, New York City teenagers Carol Hopkins, Susan Richmond climbed out onto the ledge of the second floor
Yes.
of a city hotel and
Yes.
threatened to jump unless they could get to meet the Beatles.
They never did.
They never did. The police talked them down.
This day, 1967, the Jimi Hendrix Experience.
Hendrix.
Yeah, appeared on the UK BBC TV Simon D show. Boy, that's a wow. Oh, listen to this. Kiki D. And
Simon
Cat
D
Stevens.
and Kiki D.
Yeah, right. Kiki D and Cat Stevens were also guests on
Kiki
the
and
show.
Cat.
Kiki D. Remember her?
Don't go breaking my
heart.
heart.
Exactly. Yes.
And Mr. Hendrix.
Jimmy.
The Jimmy. This day in 1968, can he stand another Beatle thing?
Let's
Ringo
do it.
Starr quit the Beatles
Yeah,
during
fuck
the
you
White
guys.
Album sessions when the constant bickering and tension became too much for him. The news of Ringo's departure was kept secret, and he rejoined the sessions on September 3rd.
Wow.
After Ringo walked out, the remaining Beatles recorded back in the USSR with Paul on drums
Oh.
and John playing bass. Paul, this is another thing.
Yes.
Paul fucking McCartney is like a dynamite drummer.
Yeah. Right.
And a great guitar player. There's a lot of he played solo on a lot of Beatles songs that people don't realize.
Exactly.
What do you got?
This year in 1969, dudes, the Beatles met at John Lennon's Tittenhurst Park home. And then he said Tittenhurst.
That tit.
All right, back to the show. Home in England for their final ever photo sessions. 3 shots from this session by Ethan Russell formed the front and back covers of the Capitol compilation album Hey Jude. Yoko Ono and a pregnant Linda McCartney, she was to give birth to daughter Mary 6 days later, appeared in some of the photographs with the Beatles. Now, how about that?
On this day in 1970, CCR, Creedence Clearwater Revival, started a 9-week run at number 1. So they were 9 weeks at number 1 on the U.S. singles, on the U.S. album chart
Wow.
with their 5th studio album, Cosmo's Factory. The name of the album comes from the warehouse in Berkeley where the band rehearsed. Band leader John Fogerty was so insistent on practicing nearly every day that drummer Doug Cosmo Clifford began referring to the place as the Factory.
Oh.
Well, sometimes that's what it takes. Like, you gotta fucking work on it.
I like how we wait till the end of the podcast when we're good and lit to try to read this shit. That's always fun.
Lit and read the shit when you lit.
On this day, 1970, Bread went to number 1 on the U.S. singles chart with Make It With You. Hey, I think that's
Make
a
it
sexy.
with you.
I think that's a sexy innuendo
What's
there.
wrong with being sexy?
Sexist. The group. I didn't even mention your wife's name. Ow! Ow! It was the group's only number 1 hit, which was a number 5 hit in the UK.
Really? Wasn't that song If? I thought If was their biggest hit. If a picture paints 1,000 words, then why can't I paint you?
Yeah.
I thought
so
that was their
too.
big hit.
Oh, yeah, I thought so. Anyway, many artists have covered the song, including the Supremes, Urethra. That's why I got stumbled on that word. It was spelled incorrectly. Earth, Wind, and Fires, Dusty Springfield, Andy Williams, and Mark Cohn. Remember Andy Williams? Wow, that's an oldie but a goodie.
Yeah, I liked his Christmas specials as a kid.
Yes, indeed. Oh, yes.
Sid Vicious. He was so vicious.
He was Sid.
What do you expect from a guy named Vicious? Sex Pistols Sid Vicious made his last live stage appearance when he appeared with the Rat Scabies
Oh, brother.
from The Damned, former Sex Pistol Glenn Matlock and Nancy Spungen on London's Electric Ballroom. In the audience, Elvis Costello, Blondie, Joan Jett, The Slits, and Captain Sensible. 1970, Captain Sensible. What the?
Of all the and Captain Sensible. Great.
Captain Sensible.
This day, 1979, In Through the Outdoor was released in the U.S., Led Zeppelin's last album while all 4 members were alive. Full in the Rain was released as a single in the U.S. In Through the Outdoor has now been certified 6 times platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America for U.S. sales in excess of 6 million copies.
$1 million. Yeah, I ran across a good like mini documentary about this record on YouTube over the weekend. But I don't have time. We'll get into it another time.
All right.
This day, 1987, Madonna went to #1 on the U.S. singles charts with "Who's That Girl?" Her 6th U.S. #1 and also U.S. #1 in the U.K. The track was from the soundtrack album, the motion picture of the same name. Who's that girl?
Yeah, I remember that. All right, on this date, 1992, Sting and Trudy Styler held their wedding reception. The couple married on 20 August 1992 after the Trogs had played a set. All 3 members of the Police got on stage and played a couple of numbers. Well, that's bloody nice.
99, Jerry Halloway, former Spice Girl Jerry Halloway, scored her first UK #1 solo single. Okay, I'm not even going to get into this date. Well,
It's going to one of the. Okay,
I think we're
fuck
kind
that
of
shit.
like
Don't
anything
know
that really.
Guys. No.
50 Cent was suing a U.S.
Who cares?
a car dealer
I'm sorry.
for allegedly using his name in an advert without permission. Silly.
This car is $29.95 and 50 cents. He's like, that's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Ashford and Simpson.
there you
Nicholas
go.
Ashford, one half of Ashford and Simpson, died
Oh,
on this day, 2011. Nick
So,
Ashford passed away.
yeah, but then
He's no longer solid like a rock.
Remember, and then
Jerry Lieber died on this day in 2011.
He's gonna make
They-
a joke.
They died at the same time.
He's gonna
What?
make a joke.
What?
He's gonna make a joke about Ashford and
Oh,
Simpson.
go ahead.
But the other partner went on just as Ann Simpson. Hey, they're not all. They're not all golden. Comedy's not pretty. Oh my.
Jerry Lieber died. Lieber and Stoller, the songwriting team. Jerry Lieber passed away.
Sure. Oh,
Mark David Chapman was denied parole on this day in 2014.
right.
2016, it was reported that pills seized from the home of Prince contained the dangerous and powerful synthetic opioid fentanyl, but were mislabeled.
Uh-oh. Flintstones chewables. I'll take those.
Like, this is a guy that should be alive. I'm sorry, Prince should
Definitely,
still be
yeah.
alive.
Yep.
I mean, like, there's no like excuse for that. Ed King.
Oh, Ed
Speaking of
King.
Leonard Skinner, he passed away this day in 2018. The saxophonist from UB40 passed away this day in 2021. Brian Travers. Oh, right.
How about
now
some
we gotta say
birthdays?
some birthdays before we get out of here.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, I love this man, John Lee Hooker, blues singer, guitarist. Had a big hit in '51 with "I'm in the Mood," which was a very like dirty, racy song that was a hit in the '50s.
Yeah.
Rock singer Dale Hawkins and rhythm guitarist Dale Hawkins, best known for his recording of his swamp classic Susie Q. Happy birthday this day in 1936. Fred Milano, Dion. Happy birthday,
Dion.
Ron Dante, singer for the Archies.
Ah, look at that. Sugar.
Mother Whiteman
Mother.
from Gary Puckett. Happy birthday this day in 1947. Donna Godchuk. Godchuk.
Is that
Happy
Klingon?
birthday. Yeah.
The Grateful Dead.
Oh, goodness gracious. Chris Biondo, happy birthday.
birthday.
Vernon
Hey,
Reid from
Vernon Reid,
Living
we know
Color.
that guy.
Not to be confused with In Living Color, the television show.
Right.
What was confusing was Living Color and the TV show In Living Color were out at
At the same time, right? Yeah. Vernon Reid.
Ian Mitchell from the Bay City Rollers was born this day in 1958. Roland Orzabal from Tears for Fears.
Oh, how about
Born
that?
this day in 1961. And this day in 1961, Debbie
Yes.
Peterson of the Bangles.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Tori Amos.
No, Tori Amos also.
Born this day in
Happy birthday.
1963, dude. Jimmy DeBarge from the band
Oh,
DeBarge.
Rhythm of
Had
the
the big
Night.
Rhythm of the Night, yep.
Nice.
Lane Staley, lead vocalist of
Wow.
Alice in Chains.
good
This day in
day.
1967, dudes. We're just being obnoxious. The guy from Matchbox 20, Paul Duchette.
Sure.
Duche.
I like it. Douche.
That
was the
Howie
longest
D from
day
the
in Paul
from the,
Duche's
back-
life.
from the Backstreet Boys and Dua Lipa.
Wow. I don't know Dua Lipa.
was born this day in 1995.
Happy birthday to
Wow.
all you motor scooters.
1995.
That was a good year.
No, she's younger than Lily.
Ah!
Lily's on vacation.
Yes.
Vacationing.
Hopefully
so
she'll be back next week.
if you can find her on Rock Rage Radio, a Hot Licks with Lily 6, I believe it's Thursday evenings at 10 p.m.
No.
No?
I don't think so. Isn't it like at 6? Jeez.
No, her
Lily.
name is Lily 6.
No. Fuck. I feel bad.
Todd Zuckerman plays drums. I'm sorry. Where's the podcast? I should be talking and not. Blah, 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 blah. I'm reading. I'm looking at comments and trying to
this is
decipher
fun.
who's saying what.
We're gonna watch some TikTok now.
We're gonna just sit and watch TikTok for the rest of the day. That's gonna be the end of the podcast.
That's the end of the podcast.
But anyways, so go to LoudiniRockAndRollCircus.com or LouLombardiMusic.com. Check it all out because you want to get on our list because you can get access to our private Facebook group. And you can see all our YouTube stuff and our
Yeah.
TikTok stuff, which is still kind of in the TikTok thing is new, and YouTube stuff is hard to find because we say swear words like fuck.
Can we say ass?
We can say ass.
Damn it!
Ass damn it.
Yeah, nice.
The ass damn it's.
Yes, damn it.
The Ass
That's a
Hammers.
band.
There's a good band name. Oh, I hammered an ass.
Whoa.
All right, guys. So go check out our website and wolfscustoms.online. Find them on
Wolfie.
Instagram, rockrageradio.com. Download the app and check out the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus at noon on Sundays. Mr. Pittsburgh, do you have
Hey.
anything you'd like to add before we get the hell out of here?
I think I've made an ass of myself enough tonight.
All right, my friend. You guys have a wonderful week. We'll catch y'all on the next Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. Okay. Save. Okay, whew, scared me. Whew. Okay, sorry. The moments of terror. All right, guys, we still have 5 people watching. Who's losing?
Hi, everybody.
Why are you losing your hair? Who's losing their hair?
That's Vince. I told him it's a byproduct of listening to us.
You better go find it. There was. So, what kind of did you ever play phone pranks when you were a kid?
Yes.
What was one of your favorite ones?
Oh my God! No, listen to this. Right, I had a friend. We were over his house, and he's like, "Hey, let's crank call people." I'm like, "Okay." So he'd run upstairs and dial the phone.
You have to twist Kevin's arm too much to crank call people.
So he runs upstairs, gets on the phone upstairs, and dials the number, and he yells down, "Okay, pick it up." And the whole prank was I was going to get on there and go, "Oh, I think my wife knows about us." Right? Okay. Hold on.
That's funny.
So he dials the number, right? He get on the phone. I get on the phone. I hear this woman pick up. Hello. I'm like, I think my wife knows about us. We have to call it off. She goes, "Who is this?" I can hear him upstairs laughing, right? But laughing a little too hard. And I keep going on. I'm like, yeah, she found the note that, that you left us. He's pissing himself, right? And she goes, "No, seriously, who is this?" And it's then that the voice sounded familiar to me. It's my ex-girlfriend. He fucking called my ex-girlfriend, and here I am.
Oh, dude. Was that Diane?
It was Diane.
Who was the friend? It wasn't me.
It was Larry.
Oh,
Big
I
Larry.
remember doing that.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was the worst one.
I gotta say, man, Larry got handed to him for that. That's
Yeah,
pretty-
that was good. I was so mad. I'm like, dude. He goes, "You were disguising your voice." I'm like, "She knew it was me." He goes, "No, there's no way you could." I'm like, "You fucker."
This was before
Yeah,
cell
fucker.
phones. There was
before
no.
Star 69.
Yes, yeah. I was always. My parents like made. Well, I don't know how we end up with these crazy ideas. Like, I was just terrified that it's like the phone company was going to find out. Like that was the
right.
big thing. Like don't if you found out the phone company was going to take your phone away or something. It was like,
Right,
it made no
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
But one time I remember standing in the kitchen and we had just come in from somewhere. And me and Paula and my mom were all standing in the kitchen and just kind of like calming down after wherever we'd been. The phone rang. It was in the evening.
All right,
my mom picked up the phone. She said hello, and she goes. She puts her hand down. She puts her hands over the receiver and says to me and my sister, "Oh, go check the refrigerator. It's West Penn Power."
Oh no.
So one of us opens the refrigerator, and she says, "Is it running?" And so my mom picks the phone. She goes, "We just checked. Yes, our refrigerator's running." And the kid goes, "Well, you better go catch it."
Nice.
My mom was all
Those like phone pranks never grow old. And I'll tell you why. Because I was at work the other day and it was raining out, and our dishwasher has to walk to work, right? So in that
Is this
case,
the guy with cancer?
no, this is somebody else. And so in that case, I'll go. He lives only 5 minutes away. I'll drive and go pick him up, right? So he calls out front. He goes, "Hey, can I talk to Kevin?" Right? So I know it's him. And I know he's going to ask, right? And so the server's there and the hostess is there. And I pick up the phone. I'm like, "Hello?" And he goes, "Kevin, can I bother you?" And I'm like, "Is this Lamont?" He goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "What are you wearing?" He goes, "What?" I'm like, "Ooh." Now the servers, like, they don't really know me because they don't deal with me. But I'm like, "Oh, what color are your underoos?" He goes, they blue, but why are you asking, right? At this point, I kind of spin around and realize there are customers in the booth watching this. Well, they were howling too, man. They thought that was funny. So, yeah, you never get too old for phone pranks.
What is it about that that's so much fun?
I don't know.
There's
Oh, Lordy Jesus. Somebody stop us.
Nowadays it's people like sending texts,
Commenting on
or like
YouTube
there was the one the other guy, the guy texted his friend. He says, "Hi, I just saw your wife," and something about we had to bang.
Oh yeah,
something like that.
Auto-correcting.
Yeah, it was something like
yeah.
and what he did was he separated the texts in a weird way, so it made him sound like he was banging this guy's wife and his daughter, and that's not what he was saying. Like it was
no. Yeah, that's always fun. Oh man.
Oh fuck, man. So what do you?
Good times.
So you're gonna go see Corey Feldman?
I don't know. I mean, I love the kid. I loved him as an actor. I thought he was a great actor. I wish he would have done more, but...
Well, he's in some pretty iconic stuff, dude.
Oh, exactly.
He's in
right?
Gremlins.
Lost Boys. The Burbs. My favorite, The Burbs.
He's in... Is he in... he's in What You Call It, right?
Bordeaux Blood. Is he in Drive? License to Drive?
No.
In...
The one that was Sean Astin, and they find the treasure under the... Yeah, he's in
The
that.
Goonies.
The Goonies. He's in the Goonies. He's a Goonie,
yeah. But I wish he would have done more as an actor. But yeah, he's a musician now, and he's an interesting musician. But my daughter, I don't know if she wants to go see him.
Where's that going to be? Where could that be?
Hard Rock.
Okay, that would make sense.
So I'm thinking, you know what? Go get something.
Well, why
to eat.
not? Yeah.
I know. We'll see.
You're gonna go in and have some fun. Get to say you saw.
I'll pretend like. Oh,
You got to see Corey Feldman.
Well, he's got the chicks dressed up as angels too.
Well, dude, like, get a photo with him or something.
I might.
He's a famous actor and stuff.
Right?
Like,
he'd probably like it. Lily said he's actually a very cool guy.
He had sex with Brian Epstein.
What?
Not with Brian Smith.
Not with Brian Smith.
Brian Epstein.
Brian Eno. But Lily met him. She said it was actually a very cool.
I'm sure he is.
Cool dude. So
I'm sure he is.
there you go.
Yeah, they were. And it's so funny. And then I was reminded that Russell Crowe does music. I had forgotten about it. Remember that? He put out records.
Yes.
And then him and Keanu Reeves had records out around the same time. Remember Keanu Reeves?
Yes.
Keanu Reeves is the bass player.
Dog Star, right?
Dog Star.
Yeah. Remember when Steven Seagal was a blues artist for a minute? He was coming to Pittsburgh. I was going to go see him. And he canceled at the last minute. He was going to be down at the Rex.
I got an idea for podcast.
Oh, do you?
Yep.
Oh, boy. You have to find a piece of blank paper.
I know I have no blank paper.
Yeah, it happens.
I'm going to be writing on like upside down shit.
Folks out there, do you have blank paper? All right, here we go.
Yes.
Celebs
Uh-huh.
who
Chris Jericho.
have
Yeah.
bands.
Fozzy. I actually like
Chris
Fozzy.
Jericho's.
I like
good,
Fozzy.
but like I'm thinking of more people that you normally kind of wouldn't think of, like Corey Feldman. Like you really wouldn't,
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it wasn't like he played a musician in a bunch of movies or on a television show or something.
Right.
You know?
Juliette Lewis was in a band for a while.
No, she wasn't.
Yes, she was, dude.
She played a singer in that movie with Ray Fiennes and Angela Bassett.
Yeah. But she actually was in a band for a while. I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Wait a minute. I could be wrong.
You're talking about the chick from
Dust to
Natural Born
Dawn.
Characters.
Yeah.
Natural Born Characters.
From Dust to Dawn. Yeah, that's her. These are all rip-off movies.
Damn, I'm out of Happy Juice.
Oh.
Somebody buy me a new bottle of Happy Juice, please.
Yeah, please.
Shit's expensive.
Kevin Bacon. Yes, thank you, Vince. Yes, Kevin Bacon. The Bacon Brothers.
Yeah, the Bacon Brothers. Dermot Mulroney is a musician.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, Jared Leto. 30 Seconds to Mars, right?
30
See?
seconds to my butthole. I tell you what, man.
Jada Pinkett.
Isn't she?
I don't know. I don't want to say her name.
No, what I'm saying is, I thought she was known as a music artist, not as. I thought her acting came out of the music.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe I miss.
You
maybe
might
I
be,
miss.
you might be right.
I always assumed that she was a hip hop
Music-
artist who
and
became
then kind of went into acting. Oh,
Yeah.
could be. Sure.
Parents just don't understand.
Yes.
Jada Pinkett.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know she did a rock thing. But I think that she was a musician first and then got into acting. I could be mistaken about
You
that.
might be
I just
mistaken.
assumed that about her.
Yeah.
When you assume, you
I
make an
don't-
ass
I don't
out of
assume
you and
anything.
me.
I'm afraid Will Smith will show up at my door and slap his wife's name.
Yeah, she was doing a rock thing. I
Oh,
did know
okay.
that.
Yeah.
I remember her talking about that. Of all places, Don't Judge Me.
Yeah.
It was on The View. Like,
Well, could you not find the
15
TV
years.
remote?
well, it was in my office when I had like 3 stations.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. I can dig it.
Man, what a terrible television show.
Mm-hmm.
Who could listen to them?
Stern used to call them the Yentas.
The what?
The Yentas, like the Jewish.
Oh
like,
my
yeah.
God! They just sound
Yeah.
like
Exactly.
Donald Trump. I mean, it's just like my God.
What the?
They're terrible, and they come. I don't know. Did they realize did they come across as such terrible people? They don't even.
think
They don't
they
come
do.
across as like.
think
I
they
remember when
understand.
television people would try to come across as like relatable, maybe people you might
Yeah.
like or
Right.
want to hang out with.
Yes.
I mean, there's nothing. No, they have no redeeming nothing. They just come across as like the ugh. And I used to like Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, she was on fucking Star Trek, dude. Like, you know, I gave her a chance, you know, but geez, I think.
Exactly, sir.
God
Sir?
damn, man. Yes, sir.
Exactly.
I just can't hear them fucking just like going, oh my God, their voices. That just makes me want to commit holy murder.
Holy murder. Murder someone's hole.
Don't murder my hole.
Please, sir, don't hurt murder.
Oh my God. So have you ever seen In Bruges with
I don't think so.
what's his name?
If I'm making this face, it probably means I haven't.
Oh, what's his name?
In
is in
Bruges?
it? Yeah, the two, they're really famous. Hold a second here. Let me pull it up.
Bruges.
Not in Bridge.
Not in bread.
Oh, just gonna take a poop pretty soon.
Oh boy.
Here it is. 2008.
Oh, okay. So it's a movie.
Brennan, what's his name? He's great. Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson.
Oh.
Yeah, I want to watch it. It's what's his name? Ciarán Hinds is in it. Yeah, so I'm gonna. So this hitman, he's got his job. So he does this hitman. His job goes wrong, and so he goes to this Bruges for to get away. But there's like something going on he don't know about.
Oh.
And Brendan Gleeson is in it, sort of playing like his mentor.
All right then.
It's pretty cool. Colin Farrell.
Yes, Farrell.
It's very feral.
It's Will Ferrell's brother.
Oh, dude.
What?
Colin
Whoa.
Farrell movie.
What?
That you should see if you've never seen.
Uh-huh.
Killing of the Sacred Deer. Dude, that's fucking amazing. That's
have
a movie.
seen that.
You've seen that?
Is Nicole Kidman in
Yeah.
that? Yes.
That's fucked up, dude.
Wow.
That's a really weird movie. That's really
Wow.
good.
Yeah, I do remember. Actually, you recommended it, so I had to go.
Okay.
Watch it. I'm like, holy cow.
Okay.
Okay.
Dude, man, I've been watching South Park.
Have you now?
Like the 2003 to 5 era.
Yeah.
Dude, man, like it's funny as
I like to say it's
Cartman
irreverent.
comes up with a little hand
Yes.
puppet Jennifer Lopez.
I remember that. I remember that. Wow.
It's too fucking good, dude, man. I'm pissing my pants. It's funny.
I had like a whole newfound respect for those guys when I saw that documentary of how like they'll come up with a topic and by the end of the week it's a finished product. I'm like, holy cow.
You have to. One of the keys to that type of work is you've got to be able to work fast.
Right.
Like, and the way they did the animation and stuff lends itself as well to being able to put together stuff quickly.
Yes.
Without, too much of this and too much of that. Makes sense. They can get right to like what's important, which is making you laugh.
Exactly.
That's all that fucking matters.
That's how by the end of the week they can have a current topic on the air.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
Yeah, I remember it felt that way too when it came out. It seemed like, wow, they're really like
They're on top
top
of
of shit.
shit.
Yeah, it's like crazy, man. All right, I'm gonna hang up. You guys have a good night. We'll catch
Thanks
you
for
all
hanging
next
with us,
week.
guys.
Thanks, guys.